Death has always been a part of Star Wars. From millions of voices crying out in terror, to Jedi Grandmasters becoming one with the Force, to 9,000 Jedi Knights slaughtered all across the galaxy at once, Star Wars fans have experienced their fair share of loss and sacrifice. But the deaths we have seen in Andor are different. A few weeks ago, we talked about how this show makes us care about its characters when we talked about the death of Nemik. And Episode 9 was no different. Why did Ulaf's death hurt so much? Why did his end feel so much more real than those of other characters in this franchise? As Isaac Kuo so expertly pointed out, Ulaf did not die a Star Wars death. For one brief moment, Andor wasn't taking place in a galaxy far, far away, but in our own life experiences. If anyone you know has suffered or died of a stroke, you are well aware of how devastating it can be. Years ago, my own mother suffered a stroke and hasn't really been able to speak since. The mind is there, but it has lost command of the body. Pair this with the way that the show constantly reminded us of how close he was to completing his sentence, from the simple mentions of shifts left to Kino pointing out that Ulaf was the next man out. And that makes this moment all the more impactful. The word realism has been used quite a lot in reference to this show, and this is yet another example of that. Despite all the starships and stolen Imperial equipment and laser swords and galaxy-wide tyrannical governments, a major dose of realism was just injected right into the middle of it. There was no need for the suspension of disbelief, because many of us have seen that moment with our own eyes. In Ulaf's death, we didn't just see an old man struggling in a labor camp and finally succumbing to the cruelty of his surroundings. We saw a grandparent, a friend, a mother. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.